on, man.
You could get that buffed out.
No, you can get that buffed out.
We live in an era of all kinds of reboots and remakes and sequels to franchises that have sat for a little while, and the latest one to kind of fit that bill is Bad Boys for Life, which stars the original stars Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. They're back together again as a couple of Miami-based super hot cops that do whatever the hell they want. They are bad boys after all, except this time age has caught up with these guys, and they have some concerns about how much they're capable of. Martin Lawrence wants to retire and get out of the game, but of course Mike Lowrey, played by Will Smith, is too egomaniacal to hang up his gloves and walk away from all of this because it's what gives him joy in life.
I'm gonna be running down criminals till I'm 100.
Not me. I'm retiring.
The cops are caught up in this new story of this drug kingpin that is seeking revenge because these guys took down the head of the family. So the son of this drug kingpin comes out after these guys and starts to take down all of the law enforcement personnel around this duo and eventually targets Mike Lowrey, and he gets shot. And so we actually get to see Will Smith be a little bit fragile in this one and start to understand that maybe he isn't bulletproof. And I thought that was kind of a nice twist on this, because what we've seen of Bad Boys in the past, they've been, kind of cartoony and ridiculous and over the top, and bullets are flying all over the place, and looks like nobody ever gets hurt except for the bad guys, of course. And certainly that model is employed again in Bad Boys for Life, but there is a little bit more humanity in this. And the fact that these characters have, aged, and they didn't take the story away from that. They also didn't make a joke of what had come before, although it kind of is its own self-perpetuating joke, this whole Bad Boys franchise.
Bad boys, bad boys.
Hey,
what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we come in?
No, never. Y'all will never do that again.
The other two movies were fun in their own right, but they certainly were movies of their time, and they were a couple of Michael Bay opuses. They sort of stood in the Michael Bay oeuvre as a couple of examples of a moment in time. And what's interesting is that even though this movie wasn't directed by Michael Bay, it definitely fits alongside as a nice kind of bookend to the previous Bad Boys movies. So if you love those movies, I can say right out of the gate that you're probably going to love this one as well. But I think that there's something a little bit more here, and it is about watching characters that we've known over time like this understand their limitations, and we see, what age means to these characters. And I thought that was kind of interesting territory for these performers to mine, and I think both of them do a pretty admirable job.
Hey, look, all our lives we've been bad boys, all right? Now it's time to be good men.
Who in the hell wanna sing that song? Good man, what you gonna do?
Definitely Will Smith has been busier working, and he can flex his acting chops and his muscles a little bit more, I think, than Martin Lawrence, who delivers some funny lines and has some good quips and stuff, but he doesn't quite have the dramatic handle and the dramatic chops on his moments in the same kind of degree as Will Smith has. Together, these two are magnetic, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
I'm about to throw up.
Oh, you bet the hell not. That is hand-stitched leather. You better drink it.
Joe Pantoliano, the former boss from the previous Bad Boys movie, the guy that's always yelling at these two dudes for screwing up.
Fuck me!
He's back in this movie, but he also brings together another team to kind of work with them. They're called Team Ammo, because this is a franchise that is not big on subtlety. Team Ammo works with these guys, and it's a bunch of, young hotshots. Vanessa Hudgens is a part of them. Alexander Ludwig, who we've seen he's a Vancouver boy, actually. We've seen him in The Hunger Games. He's this big, giant, brutish dude who's also a computer hacker. There's some interesting stuff with his performance, and also with this new sort of young super team as well. I actually like that Vanessa Hudgens never for a moment doesn't have a smile on her face. She's in the middle of a massive gun battle, and she's got just this little smirk on, like not taking any of it seriously. And honestly, that's kind of what you do when you see a Bad Boys movie. You can't take any of this seriously. The violence does get pretty heavy. There's some gore and some stuff that's in the direction of what John Wick has done, although John Wick has done it much more stylishly.
What?
But you know what? There's some good laughs in this movie. Definitely a sense of love and a sense of family permeating through this movie. The glow of the Miami sunshine is actually a nice respite from the sort of winter storms that we're currently facing here, and probably likely in many of the same cities that you might be watching this in. So I actually had a pretty good time. I had a pretty good escape with Bad Boys for Life.
No, Marcus.
We fly together, we die together.
What?
Oh no, that's just something we say.
Did I love it? Nah, I didn't love it, but it's hard not to be charmed by these two leads especially, but the whole cast actually comes off pretty well. And the movie is shiny and looks good and it moves fast and the explosions are fun and the action satisfies. It's a pretty decent little action picture. I'm gonna give Bad Boys for Life a 7 out of 10.